Hi, my friends. My name's Trey, and this is my YouTube and Odyssey show. Trey's timeless 15 minutes of explain on my YouTube and Odyssey channel. Trey's Missing Tunes, and today I want to discuss how the dark side mitigated ganja's ability to harm, help you. I said, oh my, mama heaven, yes. You got to put on that party dress. I was too cold to cry when I woke up alone in my sprayed, engineered rain in my Santa Cruz home. So I said, let's dance with Mary Jane. Let's go and kill the pain. I feel summer creeping in, and I'm tired of watching you think Satan rules. Oh no. How the dark side mitigated ganja's ability to help and harm you. So we have this old idea that cannabis brings laziness. Well, not for things you really want to do or you know you must do. Sometimes for things such as cleaning your room, for things that you don't want to do, yes. But sometimes it helps us temporarily remember the courage within to do the things we need to do. Most construction workers take cannabis before work to get the courage. But we have the mental idea that comes partially due to the indica genius, which can make people feel relaxed or not want to do anything. The cliche that cannabis brings laziness um, is perhaps one of the first ways that the dark attempted to mitigate the healing or lessen it. Of course, dependency, mental addiction or thinking you need cannabis to do it for you can be a great impediment. But the Marijuana Act of 1939, which made it a Schedule 1 drug, of course, that was after the allocation of all medical care to allopathy through the quackery witch scare, the shame and poo-pooing of psychics and shamans for over 20 years or so. You know, again, they had a lot of help from a lot of master manipulators, Blavatsky, the dark side, the negative aliens, and so the demonization began of cannabis. Now, almost 100 years later, or 80 years later, we're at the point where the demonization is starting to completely end. And so, but what has happened is, in the New Age movement, as in the knowing the dark side knew the ascension cycle was coming, so they sent their people into the disclosure movement, and also they sent their people in to work on the legalization of cannabis. I saw a video years ago, a TED Talk, a guy from Colorado said, we didn't legalize weed, we commercialized THC. I thought, well, that's a really good point. So think about this, these possessed ones with their expertise and their intimidating structures actually got rid of the majority of the natural healers for a time in this country, or at least they'd have to hide and do it in their house and go underground. So the shame man, so the infiltration is a key to the whole thing. The number one way that obviously the dark side can infiltrate into your cannabis usage would be indiscipline, such as binging, taking too much cannabis, becoming mentally addicted. I've learned over the years to have extreme discipline and regulation with my cannabis usage. If I want it to work, to kill my illness temporarily, to relax me, help me to be creative. If I go too hard, it doesn't do as much. This video was also inspired by the 420 special that Indigo Angel and Sean Bond did last year with Christopher Anatra. So when Colorado legalized cannabis and oh shit, I can't even see what it said. When Colorado legalized cannabis in 2010, what I discovered since I went back there last May is that about roughly 99% of all the cannabis stores sell indoor grown cannabis under lights, and of course they're one of the biggest alien DUMBs, underground military bases under the Denver airport, and so the actual physical presence of the reptilians in the dark side to that extent is very much in Colorado, at least the populous regions. So they were able to, like, somehow, again, through infiltration, through mind control, and also weather operations, somehow convince most of these store operators that it was all that they wanted indoor, that indoor was better. And so my personal experiential studies have shown that the indoor cannabis can easily feed all mental illness, lead to narcissistic predator entity attachments and other addictions, etc. So, unless it was somehow grown with love, full spectrum lights, even then, I mean, this video is not going to be real popular amongst my friends who work in the stores. And I'm not saying that, it's not good as medicine. I'm saying it can serve indoor cannabis can serve a medical need, but I'm saying that it can and does often not extend spiritual awareness, or it is not an aphrodisiac. It will not allow you to tune into the Christ consciousness as particularly greenhouse grown cannabis, grown organically, or sun grown. The sun grown, unfortunately, you got to deal with the mitigation in the sky. So I also saw snow in May, and when I was there in Colorado, so which I feel like was certainly not organic. So Colorado is a place where yes, it was the first state to legalize cannabis for recreation, for fun in 2010. But what they sell to me is not fun. Roughly around the same time, a few years later, the county of Humboldt, California, said all commercial cannabis products have to be organic. Well, that's more fun for me, okay? Because it's going to be more healing and help people tune in. Plus, it's energies of the soul. So, but probably the biggest one of how the dark side has mitigated ganja's ability to help you is BHO. Okay, people that smoke BHO, which stands for butane hash oil, I might be exaggerating here, but almost 50% sometimes, but a large amount of what they're smoking, I'm not sure exactly the amount. They claim to purge it, but you can't purge it all. A lot of it, what they're smoking is butane. I use a hemp rope to light the bowl. I won't even smoke butane at all. It's really toxic. So the popularity of BHO is just, it's really the signature of the devil having gotten involved in the cannabis industry. Now, as I've said before, Bill Gates, Rockefeller, and Rothschilds are too higher up in the inverted hierarchy to ever have enough self-respect to invest in cannabis, but there are lowers in the hierarchy. And you see, the Proposition 64 law was crafted by George Soros and Sean Parker, who was the first president of Facebook. So it was designed literally by the big boys, by the two most openly evil New World Order operators. George Soros said they ought to make laws against what I do. And so it was 600 pages of rules. However, what I like about it is that they test every nug for mold, so you don't get the mold from the cannabis store stuff. But ever since the popularity of BHOs, obviously there's been a major increase Since the popularity of BHOs, a major increase in all kinds of cancer and NPEs, mental illness. In the dark side has worked to orchestrate the character of the cannabis industry through, lesbians and homosexuals were some of the key players that were involved in the first cannabis stores and the first people served by those who created, as well as veterans who created the movement. So the transvestites, the GLBT, and the clubs. You have to understand, the clubs movement was started by and for to help homosexuals and veterans with AIDS and cancer and help them to heal their PTSD. And now, with the new recreation law in California written by George Soros, there was originally no compassion. And then they told the people, the stores, you were going to tax you for these nugs if you give them away. So, but you can pay $200 for a special prescription and $80, $280 and go to Sacramento to get a medical license. It's a whole big, crazy amount of steps you have to do now to be a medical cannabis patient. So they wanted to poo-poo sharing medicine with those in need at all. So this is how the dark side has, tried to control it in the state of California. What they didn't know is that people such as Willie Nelson and a few companies would help the small organic farmers pay the taxes because they didn't want to lose real healing ganja socially to the people. Wham has reopened last year after 5 years of duking it out with these health officials that did not want to allow any club that wasn't strictly commercial to open, because Wham is strictly medical. So we have some of these stores where the employees all of them still wear a mask. Or they have some of these cannabis shops have a store on the window saying that they would appreciate it if you put on the mask in the year 2023. Of course, the number one thing that they achieved, for the most part, they did achieve what we were all terrified of as far as commercialization, as far as most people buying the Kmart weed, the shitty, But I was pleasantly surprised over the last 7 years since they legalized it for everyone over 21, that gradually more and more real healing, organic or greenhouse or sun-grown cannabis and healing products have been in the stores. Some not at all, but the prices have dropped way low to where you could buy an eighth of weed for $10 in a lot of stores in this town. So, but again, over 96% of the products, the cannabis flowers and cannabis products in these stores, in my opinion, will not expand your awareness, will not heal your cancer temporarily, will not allow you they'll relax you. They might release your tension, your anxiety. They're not going to help you tune in to the higher frequencies because they themselves have only been exposed to, say, an electric light or a bunch of chemicals. And those things, those factors, those inorganic or those parts that are not ITAL really can mitigate and lower their ability to help you, to heal you, to help you tune in, which is one of the reasons why we love cannabis, right? I mean, as Christopher Anatra said, it was the first thing that helped them to see that there's something about this world that wasn't right, that it needed to heal. So cannabis is an amazing healing plant medicine that can be very mentally addictive. As I've said, if myself or others, if we don't have a proper relationship with this plant medicine, it can be haywire. It can cause all kinds of problems. It can exacerbate your mental or physical illness if you don't know how to work with the strains, if you don't know how to go for the indica or sativa dominant. And if you, again, number one, you don't know how to be a connoisseur like me who only purchases or supports the organic or the not sick cannabis products, not adulterated. If you enjoyed this commentary, click the subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell, or YouTube really, because of shadow banning, they might not send you any more videos even though you subscribe. Otherwise, why would I have 50 followers and only 1 or 2 or 3 views? So, only you can reclaim your mind from the dark side and learn to use cannabis respectively if you so choose, and create a great one, my friends.